ดี๋ยวท่านนำกราบครับเดี๋ยวท่านนำกราบWe'll bow down 3 times with him. And we bow down our teacher 3 times. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Now we can go to our chanting book, page 7. We start with Salutation to the Triple Gem, both Pali and English. Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava. The Blessed One is worthy and rightly self-awakened. Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. I bow down before the awakened Blessed One. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. Dhammang Namasami. I pay homage to the Dhamma. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho. The Sangha of the Blessed One has practiced well. Sanghang Namami. I pay respect to the Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, and the rightly self-awakened One. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. He is the Blessed One, a Worthy One, and a rightly self-awakened One. Vicha jarana sampanno sukhato lokavidu. Consummate in knowledge and conduct, one who has gone the good way, knower of the cosmos. Anuttaro puritsa dhamma sarati sattha deva manutsanang putto bhagavati. Unexcelled trainer of those who can be taught, teacher of human and divine beings, awakened and blessed. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. Santitiko Akaliko Ehipatsiko. Teaching here and now, timeless, inviting all to come and see. O Panayiko Pachatang Veditapo Vinyuhi. Leading inward to be seen by the wise for themselves. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho. The Sangha of the Blessed One disciple who have practiced well. Uchupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho. The Sangha of the Blessed One disciple who have practiced straightforwardly. Yaya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅkho. The Sangha of the Blessed One disciple who have practiced methodically. Samici patipanno bhagavato sāvaka saṅkho. The Sangha of the Blessed One disciple who have practiced masterfully. Yatitang Chatari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pukala. That is the four pairs, the eight types of noble one. Esa Pakava Awaka Sangho. That is the Sangha of the Blessed One disciple. Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Takineyo Anshali Karaniyo. Worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect. Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati, the incomparable field of merit for the world. Now just relax, sit comfortable. We'll continue chanting with the next verse. It's called Brahma Vihara Bhavana. Start with Metta Bhavana, okay? It's a contemplation of kindness and goodwill. Same thing, Pali and English. Sabbe Sata, may all living beings, Avera Hontu, be free from animosity. Apaya Pacha Hontu, be free from oppression. Anika Hontu, be free from troubles of all kinds. Sukhi Atanang Pariharantu, be protected for their own happiness. Sabbe Sata, may all living beings, Dukkha Pamuchantu, be free from stress and suffering. Sabbe Sata, may all living beings, Malata Sampatito Vikachantu, may not be parted from their good fortune. Sabbe Sata, all living beings, Kammasaka, are the owner of their actions. Kamma Dayadha, heirs to their actions. Kamma Yoni, born of their actions. Kamma Pantu, related to their actions. Kamma Pati Sarana, live dependent on their actions. Yang Kammang Karisanti, whatever action they do. Kalayanang wa papakang wa, for good or for evil. Tatsatayadha Pavisanti, of that they will be the heirs. Okay, these four virtues we just chant, we will talk in detail today, because one of the most important virtues that we should abide in them. Okay? So we go ahead and chant the five subjects for frequent recollections. Chara Dhammom Hi, I am subject to aging. Charang Anatito, aging is unavoidable. Payati Dhammomhi, I am subject to illness. Payati Anatito, illness is unavoidable. Marana Dhammomhi, I am subject to death. Maranang Anatito, death is unavoidable. Sapehi me piyehi manapehi nana bhavo vina bhavo. I will go different, separate from all that is very dear and delightful to me. Kammasakomhi, I am the owner of my actions. Kammata yado, heir to my actions. Kamma yoni, born of my actions. Kamma pantu, related through my actions. Kamma pati sarano, and live dependent on my actions. Yang kammang karisami, whatever action I do. Kalayanang wa papakang wa, for good or for evil. Tatsata yado pavisami, to that I shall be the heir. Ewang amhehi apinang pachavekitapang. Thus we should often reflect on this. Aya deva kayu, this body of mine, iktang patara, from the soles of the feet up, ato kesa pataka, from the top of the hair down, Tacha pariyanto, enveloped by the skin. Purona napakarasa asuchino, is full of manifold impurities. Je kucho particulo, all of them are unclean. The next one is about contemplation on death. Tuang chivitang, life is inconstant. Tuang maranang, death is constant. Avatsang maya maritapang, surely we shall die. Marana pariyosanang me chivitang, life has death at the end. Chivitang me aniyatang, life is uncertain. Maranang me niyatang, death is certain. Anicca sankhara, all conditioned things are impermanent. Tang kuteta lapa, because of this, how can they permanently exist? Let it be. Rupang aniccang, form is impermanent. Vedana anicca, feeling is impermanent. Sanya anicca, perception is impermanent. Sankhara anicca, all conditioned things are impermanent. Vinyanang aniccang, consciousness is impermanent. Rupang anatta, form is not self. Vedana anatta, feeling is not self. Sanya anatta, perception is not self. Sankhara anatta, all conditioned things are not self. Vinyanang anatta, consciousness is not self. Sabbe sankhara anicca, all conditioned things are impermanent. Sabbe dhamma anatta, all natural phenomena are not self. See, what we have shared, they're all the truth of our life. Okay? For one who new here, the chanting book, you may take it home and read it over and over, and you can chant it by yourself. You may not be able to do in Pali, but it's okay. Do it in English, okay? Because the fact of life right there, it keeps reminding you, being reminded, to make you mindful. As we talked about earlier, okay? So the topic today, we're going to get right on to it. It is one of the, to me, you know, it is very difficult. It is not really that profound or that deep. Because, if you go back and look at page 8 in your chanting book, okay, the topic that we are going to see, to discuss or explore, we call Brahma Vihara Bhavana. Brahma, who is this Brahma? Or what is Brahma? Brahma is a Pali term. Actually, sort of the meaning of it is the one who has a superior mind, okay? The one who has an exalted mind, the mind of this Brahma, they may even consider the God's mind, Brahma God, okay? So right there, when you talk about the level of the mind of the God, that should be, more than even beyond utmost or supreme, okay? And that's what the Buddha thought about. I don't know what he thought about, but he feel that, when a person has trained their mind to be above, beyond the ordinary mind. See, our mind is always filled with what? Greed. I want this, I want that, I crave for this, I crave for that, all the time. Everything that you see, if it's pleasant, oh, I love it, I want to have it, okay? So greed, or what we call attachment, that is what usually get us in trouble. Very simple. If you attach to something and it is guaranteed, That's something going to be gone from you. Guarantee. Why? Because when you look at this world, this universe, nothing stay the same. Once it arises, it will fade away. Once it is born, it will die. Once it is appear, it will disappear, including universe. If you don't, you're not sure. Look at your own family. Where's your great 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 grandfather, great 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 grandmother, and then great father, great grandfather, and eventually your father, your mother? You love them dearly. They're going to be gone, separate, or you're going to be separated from them one day. That is a fact of life, okay? And especially children, they need to understand that you're growing every second, okay? And right now, you're just a little girl. Sooner or later, you can grow up, okay? And you can grow up family, so before you can get old just like kids. It is not frightening, but sometimes the children need to understand because when they don't understand, they get so scared of things. So the truth that Buddha taught us is all the truth. Okay, so when you have that kind of mind that free from greed, free from ill will and hatred, and free from what we call delusion or ignorance, that is the mind that beyond us. Because all of us sitting here, we have some degree of greed, degree of angry, ill will, hatred, and degree of fear, confusion, delusion, not understand a whole lot of things. We have that. So the goal in Buddhism, the teaching is that we will be free from all these three roots of what we call defilements. Lopa, that's attachment. Dosa, ill will and hatred. And moha, delusion or ignorance. Once you are all free of all this, you can have this kind of mind. It is hard, very difficult. So, out of these billion of people, I don't know how many handful of people can achieve that. Okay, so this first thing, the Brahma, that is the kind of mind that we call exalted, supreme kind of mind. Vihara means dwelling, resident, abode. Abode, just like a building. And then the last one, the Bhavana. Bhavana is to develop. So when you put all these three words together, you develop the kind of mind, to live in that kind of mind. It means that you're going to be the person who train yourself to become, to have the God's mind, free of greed or attachment, free of ill will and hatred, and free of delusion and ignorance. Okay? That's our goal. That's what you have to do. Because if you don't do any, get rid of all this or lessen any of this, you will suffer. That's also guaranteed. Okay, talk for further. Now, we can look at this first one, Metta Bhavana. The word Metta. Metta usually translates as loving kindness, friendliness, goodwill. Okay? That's Metta. Why should we develop this kind of virtue in our heart? Metta. Because, see, this metta, when you look back in the teaching, metta is actually come from one of what we call cetasik. Cetasik, it is the part of the mind. In Pali, the mind is called chitta. Chit, okay? Chit is the mind. It's not the brain. The brain is the instrument of the mind. The mind is you can use the term consciousness. You cannot see it. You cannot see consciousness, but you can see the brain. Okay? So the brain is an instrument of the mind, chitta. But chitta, in order to perform, to function, it has to have what we call faculties or something that help them. Just like the President of the United States. He doesn't do much work. You sit in the White House, right? But he appoint what? Faculties, secretaries, that under them. All those secretaries go out and work for him and then report to him. So Chitta or the president must know everything, the whole country. But it doesn't go around anywhere. You say in the White House. But his secretary and faculty, that's what went out and worked. Okay? That is the Jadasic. In his teaching, there are 52 kinds of Jadasic. 52. It's a lot. You can call it capability or ability to do something for the mind. It's a capability, okay? The mind is formless. You cannot see. It's like, show me how much pain that you have, the feeling. Show me how happy you are. Can you show anyone? Can you show me how sad you are? No, you can't. Because it's not a quantity, it's a quality. Okay? So this Jadasic, 52 of them, I'm going to make it very brief because everything that we talk about today is about Jadasic, ability of the mind, capability of the mind. Okay? So when we talk about the first one, metta, actually, it comes from one of the Jadasic we call beautiful or wholesome Jadasic. Something good that work for the mind. We call dosa. See, means no, not, or without. Dosa, ill will and hatred. So without ill will and hatred, that is loving kindness. See that? Okay? Loving kindness, friendliness, goodwill. Oppose ill will and hatred. Ill will and hatred is dosa. So metta is no dosa. Okay, that's how he teaches us that way. He teaches us the opposite, the duality, because you understand that in our world we have duality. We have two sides, okay? The night and day, white and black, straight and curved, all kind of thing like that, okay? So if you have ill will and hatred, you can have non-ill will or non-hatred. And non-ill will and hatred, that is what we call metta. So metta, loving kindness, friendliness, benevolence, or want to do something good for people. That's opposite of the hatred and ill will. Okay? The Buddha always teaches us all this. The only thing he to make it very, very plain. When you come here, you have to know that what does the Buddha taught us? Or what actually did he teach us? He teaches us about suffering. He teaches about misery. It is about something that we go through all those grief and sorrow and lamentation and crying, and mental distress, mental despair. That's what he teaches us. But he didn't end there. He said there are all kind of things like that in our world. We're going to have sorrow. We're going to grieve. We have lamentation. We can have all kind of things. But he said, I can show the way to end that, to stop that, to eliminate that. Okay? So that his teaching is complete in that way. There is suffering. There is a cause of suffering. There is an ending of suffering. There is a path to end the suffering. That is a Four Noble Truth. That is the hallmark of his teaching. There's suffering in life. Okay? Why? As soon as we are born, we suffer. We get hungry, we get pain, we get illness, we get disease, we get old. And then eventually we get old and we die. That's it. Is that all of our life is all about? Ask yourself that. Why was I born? Why do I live? Why do I live my life? To eat, have sex, or drink, get drunk, have fun, entertain ourselves, and then waiting to die? Is that all we do in our life? It should be more than that. Okay? So that's what he told us all this, and from there said, first, you need to know, understand metta, because at this very moment there's a war in our world. Why? Because there's a ill will and hatred. Very simple. Because there's no metta. That's why there's killing everywhere. The big one in Europe. So metta actually is a dosa. Not is the negative article. Dosa, ill will and hatred. So you have to make sure you understand that this hatred can end. We can end those hatred and ill will by develop the virtue of no ill will, no hatred. We start with anger, okay? We'll get to that in a minute, right? So now we understand those are. And then second thing, the next one, garuna, compassion. Compassion, what does it mean, compassion? It's the wish to help someone who is suffering. Okay? You see someone who suffers, then you say, I want to help. You have compassion. If you look at them and say, well, that's a problem, you have no compassion. Okay? So compassion is very simple. Something when you see is broken, you want to fix it. You want to make it better. Okay? Or some people sort of negligence. So there's a lot in our world right now. We're supposed to be loving kindness along with compassion. But where are they? Why do we have robbing? Why do we have killing, raping, all stealing, killing everywhere? And we are supposed to be a civilized country. Where is civilization? What does it mean? Yeah. Because people doesn't know their own mind. That's the key. They're ignorant of their own existence. So now we need to do something to make ourselves develop our mind, to become the high mind. Okay? So this is what the second virtue that we need to cultivate the mind. That's compassion. Right? The third one, we look at this. The third one we talk about mudita. Mudita, I would very simple say it, appreciation. See, when you see someone who is successful, someone who is fortunate in getting something, have something done successfully, then you appreciate that. And that is the way it should be. But every time it's not that way. Because we have what we call jealousy, envy, As soon as you have that kind of jealousy and envy, this appreciation went down the drain. How many times you feel, yourself, just look back at your own, say, look, you see your co-worker, you do the same work, you do the same place, and all of a sudden he was promoted to the manager. Why was I promoted to be a manager? I can be as good as he is now. I can be as good as he is. So when you start to have this comparison, I can be as good, I can be better. But sometimes you have inferiority complex too. I'm inferior to that. So all these things, comparison. You put yourself in the mind. Because every time you look at the other person next to you and say, I'm better than him. So you have that. And we all have that kind of a mentality. Okay? You need to look at that and say, hey, what is the benefit of having that kind of mind or mental attitude? These are the kind of teaching that make you look at yourself. Not when your mind is running so fast, trying to catch the world with all these events. And you stop getting to look at your own. It is the thing that you're moving out, moving out, that doesn't cut. You didn't look at your own yard. You didn't take care of your own yard. Look at I've seen that. Okay? So it is kind of a sad to see this because there's no kind of appreciation of the thing that people have done well and done good. The only thing you do is as soon as you hear someone, you don't have to know them. You have no relationship with them. Some person has won the award that, present to him because you've done something very good. God, I rejoice with that achievement. I appreciate that. Just think like that. You're going to feel yourself really, kind of lighten up. It's not burden you, but it lighten you up. Try that, okay? Any news that you hear, it doesn't matter whether you know, you don't know, man, I appreciate him. He or her, she's done something so good. She's helped a lot of people. And so you do that. Guarantee also your mind and your heart is expand wide, reaching out. Okay? So that is the third one called mudita in Pali, or sometimes they translate as sympathetic joy. I don't know what it means, but to me, I just use the term appreciation. I appreciate that, okay? So as soon as you have appreciation of anyone who has done something good, that is what makes your heart open up, okay? The fourth one, we call ubeka. Ubeka in English translation, they translate as equanimity. This is the most complex and the most difficult to understand for a lot of people because there are so many aspects that you have to explore on this word. Okay, I'm going to spend a little more time on this. Ubeka, okay, ubeka, equanimity. It means that you have an even mind, even keel, the mind that does not tilt over when something either good or something bad. Now, some people may not understand that because, sometimes when you see someone successful and you appreciate that, but if you go overboard, overjoyed, all right? If you go overjoyed because, you really appreciate that person, first of all, you tip that balance. So you tip that balance, okay? You're gonna tend in or decline. Even it's a good thing. It's a good thing that so I appreciate his success, so on and so forth. But it would tend toward liking, loving, craving, and then decide to be on that side. So tipping your scale now, okay? When something good, It's tipping your scale, so no more even. All right. On the opposite side of the scale, okay, if you see someone who is not done well, you feel that there's done evil, something bad, and you said, I hate that. I really hate that. Sometimes you become angry with it. Okay? So now that tip the scale on the other side, become angry or become craving. Either way. So it's no more evenness. Okay. And that is what the same thing happened to us in everyday's life. We tip our scale all the time as when we see, we hear, we smell, we taste, we touch, or we think about something. Something pleasant, I love it. Something unpleasant, I hate it. So that scale go on like this all day long, never stop. So it's when you have no evenness of the mind, no neutrality of the mind. Your mind gonna be so exhausted. I can't guarantee you. When the mind is exhausted, what does it need? It needs to get rid of the exhaustion. So what do people do? Let me go to the pub, have a few drinks, will drown out my whatever it is. My mind is always have these kind of things, so just a few things will drown it out. And the next day, the same thing. The next day you go the same thing. Some people go this kind of vaping. There's a lot of vaping place when I drove up on 92 here. Okay, a couple of them at least. You go to snort something. Of course, when I was growing up in Thailand, in Bangkok. At that time, the opium den was still open, was still kind of legal. I see a lot of guys, especially when they're tired. They work so hard all day long. So the evening, before they go home, they stop at that opium den, have a little thing before they go home, clear their mind. So now, they, instead of freshen their mind, resting their mind the right way, they either take drugs, alcohol, something like that. Some people go to the restaurant and eat. A lot of people who get kind of trouble in their mind, they eat. Okay, so they do all kind of things. Some of them starve. It is something that when you look at it, just a quality, just the mind that tip the evenness, the neutrality of usually mind should be, when you wake up in the morning, someday you're gonna feel, wow, the world is so beautiful, it's so pleasant. You smile at yourself, and then as soon you get to work, everything upside down, right? It happened, okay? That is because, that is the way the mind usually works towards you. So this unevenness of the mind that's called no ubeka or no evenness. There are three aspects that we need to look at, I said to begin with, okay? The Buddha taught us, look, for this thing, for these four virtues that we should develop to abide in them. The virtue of the God's mind, the evenness of that God mind should have no wrath, no anger, no punishment, or anything like that, but should understand that, look, whatever good deed or bad deed that person has done, he is the owner of that deed, isn't it? You cannot tell, Peter made me kill John. You tell the judge that, okay? Yeah, I plead not guilty. Why? You shot Peter dead. Well, because John told me to do it. Because he made me so angry, that's why I killed him. You are responsible or accountable for your own act. So as you understand that, if you do something good, you can have the good effect gonna come towards you. If you have done something evil, the evil effect gonna come towards you. That right then, you understand the law of karma. Okay? So that evenness become even again. Because you understand, you did something good. I don't have to really appreciate that. I do because you did something good, but that's something good. I don't have no any part with it. You're gonna have a part with it because the good effect will be bound towards you. If you do something evil, I don't have to get mad at you. I don't have to hate you because whatever you done have done bad, that effect gonna come towards you. And so you have that, your mind gonna say, okay, I understand now. That's what evenness of because you know, understand the law of karma. Okay, right here in this aspect. But what about the feeling? Sometimes the feeling, okay, when you see something pleasant, oh, I love it. See something unpleasant, I hate it. Okay, now we're talking about a feeling, sensation. Okay, not this supreme mind. When you have this unevenness of mind, because I hate it because it's unpleasant, I love it because it's pleasant. And so you have that. You have to understand right there the feeling of what we call ubeka feeling or ubeka vedana. Feeling in Pali called vedana. So ubeka vedana, uneven feeling has to be deal with different because you have to understand that all those feelings, how long does it last? Not very long. You feel joy for just a few moments and it's gone, right? It's the same thing as sorrow and grief. It lasts for a while and be gone. So if you hold on to it, you keep bringing it back, that's why you suffer. So just let it go because by nature, all this feeling never remain, never sustain for a long time. Nothing everlasting. That is the nature of our universe. Nothing remain the same. Okay? So your feeling is already gone. For example, you see a person who's kind of walk kind of uneven, okay, unstable. You said, right then. So you see that, what do you think? He's drunk, isn't it? Oh, he's drunk, isn't it? How do you know? You have no idea who he is, what he is. You don't know him. He may be sick. He may be getting sick. Because you don't know the truth. You judge it. You feel that, that's an unpleasant sight. I don't like that. Let's call the police. Pick him up because he's drunk. Right? Some people do that. They call the police right away. And you don't even know that. So this is the feeling, either pleasant, unpleasant. Okay? So as soon you tip that scale of that feeling, you're in trouble. Your mind will go up and down, up and down. Eventually it becomes exhausted too. Okay? So that talk about feeling that we are exposed to it every single moment of our life. So you walk out here. Every moment. Your sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, you can have that. Okay? And the last aspect of this ubeka is about his teaching. There are many teaching that ends up with ubeka. For example, when you meditate and try to get what we call perfect concentration or jhana, okay? Jhana. How do we start? We start with bring the object to contemplate, just like your breath. Okay, I'm going to watch my breath. I'm going to consider my breath as everything that I do right now. I'm going to feel my breath. I'm going to touch my breath. I'm going to think in my breath. So contemplate on that. As long as you keep on and on and on with your breath, sooner or later, success feeling come in. And so you feel, oh yeah, I got it. Joy arise. Okay? Joyful feeling arise. Some people cry. Some people just cry, dripping. Some people feel like, a lot of things, the hair rising on end, feel itching all over, feel like they're floating in the ocean, feel like they're levitating. Okay? So that's some kind of joy that happened to all people who meditate the correct way. Sooner or later, this joy subsides. They end up with really serene pleasure. That is the kind of happiness that you never find in the world. Happiness. Because it's so peaceful. And when that serene happiness or serene bliss fade away, you have what we call one-pointed. The mind becomes so perfect in concentrate. And that is the kind of mind that you need to investigate, analyze the event that you want to learn. It doesn't matter. You want to learn about yourself? Practice until your mind becomes perfectly concentrated, and bring your body, this feeling, this perception, this consciousness, so on and so forth. Bring it and concentrate, analyze on that. You will see them clearly. What do you see clearly when your mind is in perfect concentration? You will see that nothing remains the same. This body, once it's alive, it is it will go. It will break down. Once it breaks down, it is painful. When it breaks down, it's painful, it's suffering, and you cannot control it. No one owns this body. They are made up of all those elements, which we maintain by eating. The food that we eat, everything that you eat, maintain this life. If you stop eating, this body will dissolve. So, your body becomes with elements. So when you come together, you become one. Treat yourself as a human body. One day, when this body comes to the end, it will break down. So that will be the earth, being criminal, this was you have to see impermanent, you will see suffering, you will see nothing is left what it used to be. One day, this theory is sitting here will no longer be here. Here we go. Everyone sitting here. This building, this house, this world. So we can see that clearly when you have a perfect concentration of the mind. And then when you have you, the mind will become equanimity, even it, because you know, whatever you say, I possess that, I own that, which actually you don't. It'll be gone. So you start to let it go. Release it. No more thinking, no more attachment, no more obsession. Some people are so obsessed with their body. eat the best food, go to the best doctor, eat the best medicine, eat the best exercise, formula, whatever they do, drive you. 2 years later, you think, oh, what I used to do was do bodybuilding, just a year ago, I have to start for those magazines. Okay, 13, 14, 15, eat all kind of high protein things and do all those things. I want to be just like that. And then right now, I weigh 121 pounds. My muscle is all gone. It'll shrink. And that's aging. I can't do anything about it. I used to drive over 200 miles golf. I can't even drive 120 miles, 120 yards right now. It's pathetic. A girl, I used to teach meditation to a little girl. She's about 12. She hit much farther than I am. She can drive a lot, much farther. I look at that, man, I'm old. See, and that is the way of life. It's the way of life. So you have no control of this. When you see this clearly, you put everything down. Instead, let it go. Isn't what the Frozen movie say in the last, let it go, let it go, let it go. Okay? So that is, you cannot hold on to anything because you don't own anything. You don't. All right? So, for somebody who's new, this lecture has been sent to one who has been here, that I have their email. So I sent this lecture to them before. So they have that, okay? For the new one, if you give me a lecture or send me a request through, I'll tell you my email, Jaranan, 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 the Sanskrit word, at AOL.com. And just request that, Jaranan, Jaranan at AOL. And I will give you all these things that we talk about in more detail. So you can read that, okay? Send me a request and I'll send you the email, all right? So we're going to stop right here for a minute. But before we break off, the next part of this session going to be about practice. There would be 2 parts of practice. The first part, I'm going to do what we call walking meditation, and then we'll sitting meditation, okay? So let's break for about a couple of minutes. The bathroom is the back of this hall. You want to go to the bathroom, go around. There's a door open in the back, go to the restroom, and come back here, and we'll start to do the practice of walking meditation, okay? So I don't have a copy of this because I didn't. Yeah. investigate your mind. Okay? Make sure you understand that. You want to investigate your mind. Just like you have a bowl of water, a lot of mud and dirt and dust and things like that. And if you keep stirring it, you cannot see the bottom of that bowl. Okay? You have to let it stay, settle down, and all those sediment stay down, then you can see the water clearly. So that's your mind. Because most of the time, your mind run amok. So you cannot catch them. You cannot see what's going on in your mind because there's so many things. Okay? So in order to do that, we have to, you can say it's still your mind. It's like still that water, make it still. And you can sit just like we usually do, but also sometimes when a lot of things bother the mind, you can do another thing, which is to me, is even better than sitting. That is walking. And many times, if something bothers me, I start with walking. Okay, just watch me. For example, if I'm gonna pay attention to my walking, pay attention to my walking. It means that I am mindful of my walking. Mindful. Pay attention. So what do? I pay attention. First, very simple. There are 6 stages, 6 phases, 6 stages of walking meditation. Okay, for me, right? So first, if I start, in a composed manner, put together, put your hand, standing, standing, standing. Reflect in your mind. I am standing. How do you know you're standing? Investigate. So send your awareness from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. Now I know I'm standing because I maintain my posture this way, so standing, standing. Then I want to commence walking. Very simple at first. Left, right, left, right, left, right. While you are sort of mindfully, sort of remind yourself that walking, left foot, right foot. No, you're not going anywhere. So as soon as you lift it up, you know that your body is in the process of walking, right? You understand that. And you don't have to make it very far, just around your heel, the heel to toe, heel to toe. Okay, that is the first step, very easy. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And it doesn't take very a long distance. I do that 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep. Okay, in my bedroom. It's not very big, but you have enough space to about 10 paces. Okay, so that's the first stage, left, right, and then the second stage, lift, place, lift, place, lift my foot, place my foot, lift my place my foot, lift, place, lift, place, lift, place, lift, place. That's the second stage. Okay. The third stage, lift, move, place, 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 lift, move, place. Get it? Now this, we come to the third stage now. Okay, left, right, lift, place, lift, move, place, lift, move, place, lift, move, place, lift, move, place. You do that? Make it about to here, about 10 steps. That's all. Okay? So don't have to look down your feet. Just look just like you're walking in the park, but your mind is with your body. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And when you come to stop, stop. Okay? Stop, stop. Take a few deep breaths. You go back to your breath again. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe a couple of times. Deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in. Then you commence to turn because you will come to the end of your distance. Okay? For example, if you got the direction, just look at me. Okay? So right here, I want to turn to my right. I will say, turn one, turn two, turn three, turn four. What did I do? I just sort of swivel my right foot 45 degree and move my left foot to the turn two, turn three, turn four. Wow, now I'm facing opposite direction. And you start the same way, breathing a few times, 2 or 3 times or 4 times, whichever you prefer, okay? And then you commence walking again. You do this, I usually do on the first pass, I walk the same thing, left, right. And the second pass, I will do lift, place, lift, place. And the third pass, I will do lift, move, place, lift, move, place. Can you do that? Okay, you turn around, turn towards me. All right? Yeah. Okay, just start with three phases. Okay, first. All right, just maybe up to around here. That should be enough. All right? Go ahead, commence walking at your left, right first. This one. Pay attention to the process of walking. Understand the whole process of walking. Feeling the whole process of walking. Okay. Then when you come to stop, you can stop, take a few deep breaths, relax, breathe in and breathe out a couple of rounds of the deep breath, and then commence turning to your right. Turn one, turn two, turn three, then turn four. Come to that, okay? And when you're ready, come in, lift, play. Then breathe in a couple of times, standing, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And then commence turning to your right. Turn one, 45 degrees, okay? Just about so to make a full turn. Okay. Okay, good. Now breathe, and then when you're ready, commence walking. The third phase, lift, move, place, 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 lift, move, place. Lift, move, place, lift, move, place, lift, move, place, lift, move, place. Yes. Very good. Good. Okay. So you come stand for a couple of breaths and then commence turning around. Now, go ahead. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. And then breathe in, breathe out. Then going to be the last 3 phases or 3 stages. Going to be a little bit more, okay? The first one, remember that? Left, right, lift place, lift, move place. Now, the 4th, 5th, and the 6th would be lift your heel, rest your foot, move your foot, place your foot. Lift, rest, move, place. 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 Okay? 4 stages. Lift your heel, rest your foot, move your foot, place your foot. Okay? The 5th one. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Lift your heel, raise your foot, move your foot, touch your heel, place your foot. It has to be precise in order to make it work. It has to be precise, meaning lift, you have to know that I'm lifting my heel, raise my foot, move my foot, touch my heel, place my foot. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. 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 It's tough, isn't it? Getting tough. We have been walking since we were born. And now we start to learn how to walk. It's kind of difficult. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Lift your heel, raise your foot, move your foot, place your heel, touch your heel, place your foot. Do that. Okay, make sure you get that. Okay? Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Make it natural. Okay? Because I've seen someone who practiced walking meditation. That is not natural. You should make it natural, please. Just like you, but you're mindful. Okay, just like I walk in the park, enjoy things, but your mind is with the walking. And that is what I trained myself way back. This is not trained in a Thai fashion. No Thai people have done this way, okay? This is from the German monks. Now, it's from German monk, okay? Lift, raise, move, lower, touch, place. See? Lift, raise, move, lower, touch, place. It's 6 steps now, okay? Some people fall. Okay, lift your heel, raise your foot, move your foot, lower your foot, touch your heel, raise your foot. Okay, remind yourself that that's what you do. Lift your heel, raise your foot, move your foot, lower your foot, touch your heel, place your foot. That's why you have to make it very slow. And your balance have to be good. And I can guarantee you, when you get old, as I am, okay, I can still do this. But a lot of people, 85 years old, they cannot because they haven't tried. And that is the reason why they fall. And when the elderly fall, 25% of that will not come out from the hospital. They will die with complications, hip fracture, things like that. End up with pneumonia. I've seen that. Okay? So it is important that you have to maintain this walking posture and also walking meditation. It will keep what we call proprioceptive. It's a deep sense of your joint. When we get older, our nerve system are getting kind of slow down. It doesn't connect very well. By training this way, it will make it so automatic that if you're going to fall, you'll be able to balance yourself. So don't fall when you get old. Don't fall, okay? And it is very important, right? So the fifth one, yeah, lift, raise, move, touch, place. Lift your heel, raise your foot, move your foot, touch your heel, and place your foot. Lift, raise, move, touch, place. Okay? And the sixth one, lift, raise, move, lower, touch, place.
Lower. Can
Okay.
you
Lift, raise, move, lower, touch, place. 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 This punishment. Okay? All right. Do the fourth one first. Lift, move, touch, place. All right. Just go ahead when you're ready, commence walking. Lift, rest, move, touch, place. 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 Come back, sit, stretch. You get me? Try to make it natural, even more. You will get it. Calm down the way. Go to the sixth state. Lift, red, move, low, touch, back. Lift, red, move, low, touch, back. Red, move, low, touch, back. This is very important, very difficult in terms of meditate on the Brahma Vihara, okay? To abide or to train the mind to abide on these four qualities. Of course, Ubeka is the most difficult one because you have to have the mind that saturated with with the first three. First one, the first two, metta and karuna. Metta, as I explained to you, think of them as dosa, freedom from ill will and hatred, freedom from ill will, or absence of ill will and hatred. When your mind is absent from that, from dosa, okay, that's dosa, ill will and hatred, then your mind can revert into metta, automatic. Because once they have no ill will and hatred to anyone, when the mind is saturated with that kind of quality, then you can see people, especially if you have understood what we call the Four Noble Truths. Every single one of us here on earth, they suffer, okay? And so if they suffer, why do you have grudge against any of those? We are the same thing, okay? After we were born, we get old, we get sick, and we die. And along the way, we're going to suffer with grief, sorrow, lamentation, distress, mental despair, the whole bit, along with all those physical pain from illness. We all have that. We are exactly the same. There is no difference. Okay, that's what equality to its core. We are equal this way. Right? So when we are equal this way, we are suffering. That's why those should not enter your mind. As soon as they start to arise, you feel that I'm angry. I start to feel ill towards anyone. Look, that ill, that angry, gonna come back towards you immediately because at that moment you suffer, both physical and mental. Okay? As soon as this thing they come in contact you, so I go further. As soon as there's contact, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. As soon as those things come in contact, then what is after contact or pacha? Remember the dependent origination? Vedana. As soon as the touch, you feel, right? As soon as contact with the eye, you have a feeling, either pleasant or unpleasant feeling. Of course, there's neutral feeling, which is all right. Pleasant or unpleasant. Either one can create what we call the next state. Phasa, vedana, tanha, craving, attraction, I want it. Craving, to push it away, aversion, right? So, phasa, vedana, tanha. As soon as tanha, you cling, upadana. That is where your vijnana or your mind gonna start to make a plan to grow a new birth right there. So you have a new birth while you are sitting, or walking, or talking, or doing something, because you have a contact of pleasant or unpleasant. So everything comes in one place now. Join in for the Four Noble Truths, because we got of dependent origination, and then you come to these as soon as you have a contact, have a presence, then you are born in something. You have a greed in some unwholesome thing, you become a hungry ghost right then and there. So while you're sitting and you're craving for something, your mind has turned you to become a hungry ghost in the human form. So if you have a contact and you go beyond that, you become angry, aversion, so to destroy that. So what are you? You become a hell being in the mind. The mind is a hell being mind in the human form, right at that moment. So you're born in different beings, which we call satta. Remember the word satta, okay? And what did it say from the very first book in this sharing book? Sappe satta, 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 sappe, all them, all being, all satta. What is the meaning of satta? Satta is a being that clings. Satta, or living being that cling. Cling to what? Cling to this body and mind as my body, my mind. See? So they cling to that body as my body and my mind. That's the enemy. Why? Because that is avijja. You don't understand. You don't have the right understanding that you do not own anything. You don't possess anything. But satta, we all are. We all are satta because we cling to this body and assume that they belong to me. But you cannot stop this body from getting old, getting sick, and die. Can you? You cannot. So how could you be ignorantly assume that? So now it has become ignorant, become not knowing the whole truth, lack the true knowledge of your own being. Because this being is just made up of elements. And the mind is just energy that enter and overwhelm, submerge in this body and control this body to do what you do, to move, to talk, to walk, to run, to whatever it is. That is the power of the mind. It's just an energy, which is not under your control. You cannot tell your mind, no, I don't want to get angry today. Tell your mind that. I don't want to feel pleasant today. Tell your mind that. It doesn't listen to you, does it? Because it's not yours. You don't own it. And each moment of your mind that arrives, as soon as it arrives, it disappears. But we keep them in memory. We call perception memory, isn't it? So that's when you need to let it go before we form this kind of craving. Craving to have sensual pleasure, craving to become, craving to not become. The three kind of craving. It always come up in your mind as soon as you have a contact. If you're not mindful of your mind, if you don't pay attention to what your mind is doing, as soon as you see something, oh, I love it. That's the end of you. You're born with right then you are a hungry ghost. Understand that? Okay, so this metta is the same thing. So as soon as there is something that hit against you, the word hit again, Pali is called patika. Patika is something that hit you. As soon as you hit you become irritable, very sensitive. When you become irritable, sensitive, it escalates to what? Annoying. I don't like it. I hate it. I'm angry now. I'm enraged now. I'm furious now. I'm going to get rid of this now. See? but you guys being hit. That's patika. And you know what? Patika is the fifth fetters. The fetter is the binding or bondage that bind us in this world, in this what we call samsara, the endless cycle of birth and death, birth and death. So patika, hit against, they come from contact. Because your eye contact something, ear, nose, tongue, body, and your mind. Think of something, contact something, right then and there. Contact arise, vedana. Okay? Vedana, tanha, upadana, bhava. And remember, there are two kinds of bhava. If you don't remember, go back and review the dependent origination again. Kamma bhava and upati bhava. Kamma bhava. The bhava, the becoming, to make something, to do something, to act on something. So you create karma right there. Whether good or evil, it doesn't matter. But you have create karma. So that karma gonna make you to be one of these, or those four realms. Okay? Go back and review that again. All right? So this is just only metta. So I'm not, you see, in order to do this, I don't do this as in my practice. I use anapanasati. But some love to use this Brahma Vihara as their best. You can do it too, okay? So chant this, Sappe Satta, all living being, who are my companion in birth, old age, and sickness, right? And death. All these beings, they're my companion in birth, old age. Go back and look at page 8, Sappe Satta. So right there, you think of that. But first, there are four groups of people that you should select. The first one is the one who you love the most. Whom you love the most? Yourself. This being. This body and mind, you love the most because you try to take care of it, right? The best you can. So start with here. This being. The being that keep getting old every nanosecond. This being getting old, getting sick, and soon gonna die. So extend that. Sappe Satta, all living being, who are my companion in birth, old age, and sickness. So you point that mind, that attention to this, and extend that loving kindness. How? Avera hontu. What does it mean, avera hontu? Be free from animosity. Free from animosity. Free from all this grudge, all this hatred. Make this being be free. So you have to start it here first. Because this being is the one who's full of hate, full of ill will, full of anger. So you start with this, let it be free of all these first, okay? So when you sit and you meditate, say, Sappe, you recite it, Sappe Satta. Just like you sitting in front and look this back, loving kindness to this one, okay? So it's kind of a little tricky because I don't do this normally, but that's the way it's done. So we extend that to this living being who is your companion in birth, old age, sickness, and death. They may be free from this ill will and hatred. Avera hontu. And then apaya pacha hontu. No, not that. Paya, danger. May it be free of all danger. Okay, when you look at that, so you have to chant this. May it be free from all danger. Okay, and the next one, Anika Hontu. May it be free from all troubles. And the last one, Sukhi Atanang Pariharantu. May they protect its own, may it protect its own happiness. Whatever they gain, happiness, they protect that. So in other words, when you chant and meditate on this, actually you chant this phrase, this verse, Sape Sata, Awera Hontu, Apaya Pacha Hontu, Anika Hontu, Sukhi Atanang Pariharantu. So may this living being, okay, who my companion, now you are sitting in front, look at this and extend to this being. Just like I said, you are the third person when you meditate because you look at this satta with kindness. Remember that? With kindness, with loving, with goodwill. Which this one to be well, to be happy. Even though normally you said, this is my body. No, it's not. So you have to step off and look at this as a third person. When you meditate, that's what I recommend. When you meditate, look at this. Look at this body in front of you. That is my companion. May that being be free from animosity, be free from all trouble, be free from all danger. And then they protect its own happiness, whatever they get. And you keep repeating this over and over and over and over in your mind until your mind is saturated. When I use the term saturate or satisfy, what happens when the mind is satisfied? It is joyful, isn't it? When you have done something successful, you have joy. The joy come up. Then you watch it. That joy will subside and become sukh. And when the mind becomes sukh, then it becomes tranquil and becomes concentrated and eventually reach equanimity on its own, right here. Just the first one. So metta itself can reach the last one, but on a different aspect. Aspect that scale is not tipped anywhere. Okay? So that is the first one. The second one, the same way. Okay? We look at this compassion. Karuna is easy. Sape Sata. May this living being, who is my companion in birth, old age, and sickness. You look at this. Okay. What do they say? Dukkha pamucchantu. Dukkha. Be free, be delivered, be released from suffering. May that being, may this being, who my companion, be free from suffering of all kinds. Whether physical suffering or mental suffering, be free from them. Then you keep repeating this, repeating this. So start with what? Vitaka, right? You bring that karuna into your mind and you maintain that it becomes vichara, sustain, evaluate. Then you feel successful, satisfied, joy arise. When joy arise, then become serene pleasure or happiness, sukh. After sukh, then your mind is so concentrated, it doesn't waver. When the mind does not waver, that is what it does not tip. Become equanimity in the same way, in its own right. The same thing on this appreciation. Okay, sympathetic joy or mudita, the same way. You start with that. May this being, who is my companion in birth, old age, sickness, and death, take delight in his or her success and rejoice with that. So soon rejoice with that pity, enjoy everyone already arrived. So again the step. And we come to Ubekha. Ubekha is a step that the same way. Whatever happened to you, that you are the owner of your act. You are the heir of your act. Whatever your deed or your act has done, good or evil, you are the owner of that. So you scale never tip. Okay? So it is difficult. But some people love to do this from right off. So you sit, look at this. Sape Sata. May that living being, who are my companion, birth, old age, sickness, be free of suffering, free of danger, free of all trouble, maintain their, protect their own happiness, be free of all suffering. The same way, okay? Over and over. You cannot just do it one day. You have to do it for quite some time until your mind is saturated. I use the term saturated. It means the whole mind is full with this. Okay? I hope you get that. So let's end our session. 1 minute past. Okay, we're gonna dedicate the good thing that we are trying to do today by chanting this dedication in brief. Page 11, you got it? Ready? Page 11. Sape sata sada hontu avera sukha chivino katang punya palang mayang sape baki pavantu te. May all be always be free from animosity and live a happy life. May they all share in the same blessing, springing from the good deeds I have done. All right. Oh, to our teacher, ready? Now 1, 2, and 3. Oh, you're welcome. That's okay. I appreciate that. That's okay. That's all right. That's okay.
เสาโน่นนะเสา
นะนะครับ
เสาหน้าโน่นนะ
ผมไม่ได้ยินหูผมไม่เคยได้
เสาอีกหน้าหนึ่งเสาหนึ่งเสาเดือนหน้า
อาทิตย์หน้าไม่มีปีอาทิตย์ต่อไปครับ
มีอาทิตย์หน้า
ครับ Now you know that we have every 2 weeks, the second and the fourth Saturday of the month, second and the fourth. Okay, so
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
all right.